You just wanna do what you feel because you're living in the flesh. You got comfort in captivity, but this is not your race. Micah 2 and 10. We ain't adopt European culture, it was pushed on us. This nation ain't under God, they enemies of us. Everything he told us don't do, they making it legal. Killing babies before birth, man, abortion is evil. A child is a child, even if it's a fetus. I'm tired of the lies, all they do is mislead us. On my knees I'm pleading, and the lies don't believe them. They deceitful creatures, such as dry like leeches. On our ancestors back, they built this wicked nation. Ain't no way to make it right, it ain't no justification. Here counsels on our behalf to set up indoctrination. LGBTQ, I don't care, it's abomination. You can't counsel me cause I don't want the fame. I just wanna wake up my people and break the chain. You just wanna do what you feel, yeah, yeah. Because you're living in the lust of your flesh. You're living in the lust of your flesh. So you just wanna do what you feel, yeah, yeah. Cause you're living in the lust of your flesh. You're living in the lust of your flesh. So how you gonna say you got faith when you ain't got no work? Gotta afflict your flesh, you put the Most High first. But you just wanna get drunk and you just wanna pop earth. But you just wanna get high until you ride the earth. You don't want lip service, it's the heart he serves. If we keep the commandments, we could break these curses. Listen close to these verses, the scripture immersed in them. To repent from sin, you gotta stop living in them. Them snakes got venom in them, the strike will kill you. That life you're living will leave you defenseless. Wake up Israel, this might be your last chance. MJ last dance, you can't come back. Take advantage of the life you were blessed with. Get the Most High that attention that your flesh get. I know it feel good, but it's killing y'all. Use the Bible like a mirror, fix your spirit up. You just wanna do what you feel, yeah, yeah. Because you're living in the lust of your flesh. You're living in the lust of your flesh. So you just wanna do what you feel, yeah, yeah. Cause you're living in the lust of your flesh. You're living in the lust of your flesh. So you just wanna do what you feel. Can't tell me nothing about life if you don't know pain. How you gonna try to coach if you don't know the game? You gon' get on the field and pick the wrong place. Instead of seeking help, you wanna do your own thing. When we young, we all feel like we know it all. I was the same way and ended up behind them walls. I lost my grandma and grandpa while I was gone. Didn't get to say my goodbyes, had to remain strong while I was away. My baby mama gave birth to my daughter. When I needed to be around, I couldn't cause I was locked up. Got out and when I thought things wasn't getting no worse, my daughter mama got sick. Started to feel like I was cursed. A few months later, cancer would take her from earth. I took life for granted and ended up getting hurt. Pain. Time is something you can lose and can never get back. Pain. The world will hit you with pain and you can't hit back. Can't tell me nothing about life if you don't know pain, pain. Yeah. No, you can't tell me nothing about life if you don't know pain, pain, pain. No pain, no. No, you can't tell me nothing about life if you don't know pain, pain. No, you can't tell me nothing about life if you don't know pain, pain, pain. No pain, no gain. Changed my life, but unfortunately my home is stuck in the street. Got the phone call by Tracy, long live DT. He got killed on the same block we hustled on. He was like my little brother, man, now he gone. Last time I saw him, I told him to be careful. Cause them Princeton and Mobile streets deadly. He just had bought a Camaro and got a good job. Trying to be a better man, but his life got raw. Had one foot in, then get the chance to pull it out. They caught him lacking, then get the chance to pull it out. Growing up in the hood, feel like it's no other route. If you still in the streets, I pray you make it out. Don't get trapped in the trap, it's a setup. Satan unleashing the tax and he won't let up. I can't alter your path, but I hope you heed my heads up. And no matter what happens, just keep your head up. Can't tell me nothing about life if you don't know pain, pain. Yeah. No, you can't tell me nothing about life if you don't know pain, pain, pain. No pain, no Can't tell me nothing about life if you don't know pain. How you gonna try to coach if you don't know the game? You gon' get on the field and pick the wrong plays. Instead of seeking help, you wanna do your own thing.
A little bit is the love in me, love. That's why I'm giving you all of my love, girl. Thought I knew love, but you redefined it. Took me a while, but indeed I finally found it. Kisses and hugs keeping me reminded. Fake love in the past had me blinded.
So you can't cancel me cause I don't want the fame. I just wanna wake up my people and break the chain.
You just wanna do what you feel, yeah. Cause you're living in the lust of your flesh.
The fear of God is knowledge, but fools despise instruction. They need a Bible college for wisdom. The Holy Spirit instructs me. Sucklers need milk, they can't digest. Just unlearn, so they misinterpret John 3:16. Saying Christ died for all, but everybody don't need saving. Deliverance is the essence of our eternal salvation.
Shalom, 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 family, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Khan. So the lesson for the day is: does the Bible teach that the name of God and His Son truly don't matter? And if you tuned in, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit a like on the video, give us a comment, let us know you're here. Also give a share or highlight or send some inboxes to your family, friends, somebody you know that may be interested in listening to the stream. So first off, just want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, whose name is Yahweh Shai. And so this is very appropriate with me speaking the names according to what the title of the lesson is. And you may ask yourself, like, why is this a topic? Why is this a lesson? And it's because it's actually a doctrine that floats around that supports that the Bible don't really teach that the name matters, or the Bible teaches opposite, that the name doesn't matter. And with that being said, hope everybody had a good day, and all praise to the Most High at the water for tuning in. Brother, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, first and foremost, I'll give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. In the name of His beloved Son, Yahweh Shai. The Most High's name being Yahweh, His Son's name being Yahweh Shai. Shalom to everybody that's on live. Shalom to everybody that's going to catch the live, on a replay or, later down the line. Yeah, I think this is a good topic, because there are so many passages that speak to the importance of, knowing the name of the Heavenly Father. So I think, for anyone to just say that it doesn't matter what the Most High's name is, I think that's a lack of respect and reverence for the Most High. That's for one. But yeah, this actually is a thing that people say, and it's very prominent. Actually, it's a pretty popular way of thinking. A lot of people. So this is definitely a needed lesson. And last thing I'll say is just make sure to like the video if you haven't already. Make sure to share with all your friends and families, all the groups that you're in. Make sure to tag all your friends and family by utilizing the @highlight feature. And I don't have anything else, so I'll pass it back to you.
Khan, the water, brother. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead and get into this thing. So first we're gonna go to Zephaniah 3 and start with verses 8 and 9. And just for notice, this is one of the scriptures, or the two scriptures that they use that actually they think supports the argument that the Most High God and Yahweh Shai's name does not matter.
Absolutely. So this is Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. It says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, unto the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." Verse 9. "For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord, to serve him with one consent."
Con. So to give you the understanding of how they understand this, verse 8 says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." We know that this is talking about end times. This is when the Most High has vengeance on the nations. He gathers his people into that one land. So verse 9 says, "For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord." So their understanding stops right there. To serve him with one consent, it kind of goes like it bypasses their eyesight and their ear sight. I mean, their ear, their hearing of the scripture, or their seeing of the scripture. So when you look at this verse, it says, "For then will I turn to the people a pure language." They look at this as just language, like how we speak different languages, English, Spanish, whatever it may be, and how, we speak some Hebrew. We speak some Paleo Hebrew. So they're saying that this is a completely new language that nobody knows, and it's going to be taught to us in that day. When somebody tells you something, make sure whatever they tell you, when you read context, that it supports what they're saying. Otherwise, they're a lie, or they just lack understanding, one or the other. So it says that they may all call upon the name of the Lord, to serve him with one consent. That little part means a whole lot, to serve him with one consent. That means that before this time, we weren't serving him with one consent. And so what we're going to do is get the context so we can fully understand verse 8 and 9. Brother, read verses 1 through 7.
Con. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, starting at verse 1. "Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She obeyed not the voice. She received not correction. She trusted not in Yahweh. She drew not near to her God. Her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not the bones till the marrow. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. The just Yahweh is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. I have cut off the nations. Their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant. I said, surely thou wilt fear me, thou wilt receive instruction. So their dwelling should not be cut off. Howsoever I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings.
Con. So now we get some understanding of what's going on before we get to verse 8 and 9. It says, "Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city." We know that this is the oppressing city would be the Israelites, the sons of God, sons and daughters of God. It says, "She obeyed not the voice. She received not correction. She trusted not in the Lord. She drew not near to her God." So this is what's going on. Our people do not serve God with one consent. We are scattered all around the world. We have different understandings of things. And so there's going to come a time where the Most High is going to be amongst us, and he's going to make sure we all are taught the correct way to serve him. That's that pure language. It won't be these differences and minute differences in doctrine. It's going to be all of us serving on one accord. That's from the name on down. But this never shows that the name doesn't matter. Verse 3 says, her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not the bones till the morrow. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. That's important, because if they've done violence to the law, they pretty much destroyed the law. And we know that a lot of our people teach you don't have to keep the laws of God. This is a very important thing, because the Most High God, when he restores us, that law will not be destroyed. There won't be any error in judgment about should we keep the law, because we will all know that we have to. So the destruction or the violence done to the law is definitely one of the things that keep us not on one consent. So it says, the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. We know that iniquity is sin. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. I have cut off the nations. Their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant. This is talking about in judgment day, like we stated with verses 8 and 9. I said, surely thou wilt fear me. Thou wilt receive instruction, so their dwelling should not be cut off. Howsoever I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings. So verse 7 said, they're going to all fear me. Thou wilt receive instruction, so that dwelling should not be cut off. So the ways that he has dealt with Israel as far as cutting us off and punishing us for our wrongdoing, for our iniquities, this is not going to be able to happen no more, because everybody's going to fear the Most High God. And we know if you fear the Most High God, that means you're keeping his commandments. So verse 8 and 9, we'll go ahead and read it. I'll go ahead and read it again. It says, therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. So we just got through reading how the people, the nations would be judged. And then this is when he's going to gather us together. And this is when we'll serve him all with one consent. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord, to serve him with one consent. It's not saying that they don't know the name of the Lord, but us calling on the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent mean we'll all be on the same accord. Brother, if you could grab verses 10 through 13.
Con. Continuing on, this is verse 10. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed shall bring mine offering. In that day shalt thou not be ashamed for all thy doings, wherein thou hast transgressed against me. For then I will take away out of the midst of thee them that rejoice in thy pride, and thou shalt no more be haughty because of my holy mountain. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth, but they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid.
So verse 13 gives us a clear picture of what actually happens when we serve him with one consent. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth, for they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. So this definitely shows that it's no kind of way that verses 8 and 9 means that the Lord's name does not matter at all. Brother, if you could give me Joel 3 verses 1 and 2. I'm going to precept it.
Okay.
And if you got anything you want to add to that, you can before we go forward.
Oh yeah, I guess I can make a quick point, like just speaking to what the brother said contextually. This there's nothing here that indicates that this is literally talking about like linguistics. That's not what's being indicated here, but something that also touches on the fact that that this is not talking about you know, just a language like we speak English or anything like that. Is this word right here? It's a Hebrew word, shapa or safa. And when you look at the common usages for how the lexicon places it, for instance, when you look at the Brown Driver Briggs, it'll align it with other passages that talk about or that show similar usages of the word. It's not talking about somebody speaking like English or something like that, right? Or Hebrew or whatever. Like for instance, Proverbs 22:11, it says, "He that loveth pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips, the king shall be his friend." Right. So this is not talking about the language that this person is speaking, but it's speaking to the content in which they're touching on. And that goes back to what the brother was talking about, how we're going to be on the same page as far as doctrine is concerned. You're not going to have some people, that say, oh, well, this brother believes that, it's the 12 tribe sign is Negro, 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 etc. And this brother believes is, blacks and brown people of indigenous and Negro descent. Like, you won't have these differences, but we'll all be on the same page. And that's kind of how, even this phraseology, even within the Hebrew language, is indicating it. Like, it's not putting it like, oh yeah, we're all gonna speak the same language. Like, we're gonna a heavenly being is gonna come down and he's gonna put into us a brand new language. That like that's not what it's touching on. Contextually nor Hebraically. But I'll pass it back to you.
The water brother for that. Joel 3 verses 1 and 2.
And it's the book of Joel 3, starting at verse 1. "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land."
And that's just driving the point home of what's being stated in Zephaniah 8, that this thing has to happen right before us getting on one accord actually happens. And we're going to see more of the same of what we saw in Zephaniah 8 as we continue to read. Brother, grab verses 10 through 12.
This is Joel chapter 3, starting at verse 10. "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be weak awakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about."
13.
You said 13? It's like it.
Yeah.
I thought, all right, so my bad. Verse 13. "Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their weakness is great." So like it, their wickedness is great. So like
the water. Yeah, so we see the same thing being shown, that this is this judgment day that actually happens to the nations. And we're going to continue reading verses 13 through 21, and we see exactly what happens with Israel.
God. Continuing on, start back at 13.
God.
God. So this is Joel chapter 3, verse 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Most High will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel. So shall ye know that I am the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her any more. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters. And a fountain shall come forth out of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for Yahweh dwelleth in Zion.
Con. So in verse 14, it says, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So the valley of decision is the place that the Most High is going to gather all the nations, and he's going to make a decision on them. He's going to destroy these nations for what they've done. So this is the day of the Lord. This hasn't happened, and it won't happen until this comes to a head, when the Most High is sick of the wickedness on the earth, and he gathers these nations together to actually redeem us and save us. So when we look at verse 15, it says, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel. So we see that there's going to be some type of tribulation going on, where we're going to have to lean on the Most High God, and he's going to deliver us throughout that tribulation. It says, so shall ye know that I am the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. So Jerusalem being holy, significant of us being able to dwell alone without the heathen around us or with us, because we know that the only reason that we become unholy is when we follow the ways of the heathen. So it says, there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. This is going to allow us to be holy, to follow the ways that the Most High God has given to us as our way of living, or our so-called culture. And as we continue to read, it says in verse 18, and it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters. And a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. So this is how we get this full understanding. That's what this is showing, that we're able to get understanding, this milk and this wine, this water. This is the Most High giving us understanding on everything, and us being able to sit together, learn together, grow together as the people that we were supposed to be, the Israelites who are holy and set apart from the other nations. So there won't be any more confusions in understanding. Everyone will understand on the same accord. It says, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, in Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. And that's pretty much it on that chapter, just trying to show that the parallels of Zephaniah 8 and Joel 3, they're all talking about the day of the Lord, and they have the same theme. The heathens or the other nations being purged out of us, away from us, and we getting on one accord and having the same understanding, and the Most High giving us what he wants to give us and not being deceived anymore. Brother, if you could grab Isaiah 28 and 11, but if you got something you want to add, you can add that first.
No, not much to add. Definitely great point so far. All praises.
Khan the water. And so this is another verse that they use to try to make their case again, and they just use this one verse.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
Khan. So this another tongue, it gets taken like the same way we show that languages are not, you know, when we look at that pure language in Zephaniah 8, it wasn't talking about speaking different linguistic languages. It wasn't talking about that. It was talking about the way he communicated with us in the sense of our understanding. And it's the same thing here. It says, for with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. So we'll have another understanding than what we've had, because there are some things that aren't revealed to us that the Most High has to set in order, and that his son, he has to send his son to set these things in order. And so we're going to see throughout this verse how, through context, exactly what I said is exactly what it is. Brother, just read the verse above, because if they just read verse 10 and 11, they would actually understand verse 11 a lot better.
And also I don't know if you're gonna incorporate verse 9, but verse 9 it speaks to your point as well.
Con. After this, after we get this one, we're gonna read verse 5 through 13.
Con. So you want me to start with 10?
10, yeah.
Con. This is Isaiah chapter 28, verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips. Okay. Just verse 10.
Just because I want to just point out how ironic it is that they use verse 28 and 11. I mean, use chapter 28 and verse 11 in Isaiah, and they just omit verse 10. The verse right above it says, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little. They're not using here a little, there a little, but they should, to get the full understanding of what this verse actually means. So now, brother, you can read verses 5 through 13.
Con. 5 through 13.
Con.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 5. In that day shall the Lord of hosts be for a crown of glory, and for a diadem of beauty unto the residue of his people, and for a sprint of judgment to him that sitteth in judgment, and for strength to them that turn the battle to the gate. But they also have erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. So I could keep on continuing on. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing. Yet they would not hear. But the word of Yahweh was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that it might go and fall backward and be broken, ensnared, and taken.
Con. And this is what we're doing right here. We making sure that they if you're not using precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, that you're gonna go and fall backward and be broken, ensnared, and taken when you take things out of context and try to preach a doctrine that the scripture do not support. This is exactly what happens. So going back up to verse 5, it says, in that day shall the Lord of hosts be for a crown of glory and for a diadem of beauty unto the residue of his people, and for a spirit of judgment to him that sitteth in judgment, and for strength to them that turn the battle to the gate. But they also have erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. We know what this is, erring through wine and strong drink. That's being drunk off false doctrine. And this is what has plagued our people, being put into these different lands among these people with other cultures, with other belief systems that do not line up with what the Most High God tells us, how the Most High God tells us to be. So it says, but they have also erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. So if the priest and the prophet are out of the way and they're swallowed up through strong drink and wine, that means that the people are also, because they are in charge of teaching the people. It says they are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. So stumbling in judgment, that understanding is not there. We're not going to all be on one accord, because some people do not understand precept upon precept, line upon line. They're not using it in that manner. And that's why you have doctrines that say God name, his son name, it don't matter. That's not what the Bible teach. We're going to actually see, as I continue to go forward, scriptures that actually show that the names do matter. They're holy names. Why wouldn't they matter? So it says in verse 8, it says, for all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? And it's going to answer the question for us. Them that are weaned from milk and drawn from the breast. So these are the people that actually get to understand the true doctrine, are going to be those who've already understood the basics, the minor things, the things that like, hey, I'm supposed to love my brother the way I love myself. I got to have the fruits of the spirit. I know Mashiach Yahawashah died for my sins. I understand I got to keep the laws of God because I got to be obedient to him. This the milk. You got to understand that to be able to understand the rest of this Bible, or it's going to go over your head every time. So this is what the Most High God is saying he's doing to make sure we get on one accord in our discernment. So it says, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. He gives us the advice and the instruction on how to understand the word, that we have to be able to join it with something else for it to be valid. You can't just take something isolated, say it's that like your understanding that you get from that is what it is. If it don't line up with the rest of the Bible, your understanding is off. So it says, for with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. And so this shows that verse 11 is definitely not talking about a completely different language that nobody knows. It's talking about a language that nobody knows, but it's not a language. It's understanding. So we're going to continue to go forward. Brother, if you got anything you want to add, you can.
Khan, and just to touch on a quick point that you harped on, I think with verse 10, as far as like you just making doctrines and it's only isolated in one place. You even see the Apostle Paul, like throughout his epistles, he'll say and also the prophets say the same thing, roughly paraphrasing, or what saith the prophets, and then he'll quote from some of the prophets. He'll quote from Job, he'll quote from Hosea, like matter of fact, when you read, I think in like Romans 9 or one of those chapters, I think it's he quotes about 3 or 4 prophets, and about a span of 2 verses, and like he'll use like a piece of Hosea, a piece of another prophet. Like Paul he's famous for that when you read throughout his epistles. But you have a lot of people that they take issue and they say, oh well, y'all are playing Hebrew hopscotch. Y'all read a scripture right here, then jump right here, jump all the way over here. And don't get me wrong, you have brothers that they do incorrectly pair scriptures together. Like, don't get me wrong, like with everything, like I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier, like with everything it's gonna be a left hand side or like a negative side to it. Like you have brothers that read this and say, okay, cool, let me find a precept for it, then they'll just word match, right? Like don't look at the context and nothing like that. Just say, oh well, this says what's an example? This says wisdom. This says wisdom ring, and this scripture says wisdom ring. That's a precept. but like, yeah, but like, like a precept is more than just well, it got the same words in it, but it's also do these passages match contextually? Do these passages speak the same thing in the same I guess in the same realm, or like same conversation? That's how you understand the scriptures correctly. Like even when the brother was breaking down Joel a little bit earlier, he spoke to the fact that these passages are speaking to they're corresponding the same event or the same time period. They're both the end times. It's speaking about the restoration, right? It's dealing with the judgment of the nations, and that's synonymous with the restoration to Israel. You see that both in Joel 3, Zephaniah 3, right? So, definitely a profound point, and I just wanted to highlight that.
The water. All praises. Beautiful point. So I'm going to grab a precept in Jeremiah 31, because this is going to sum up those 2 verses. Like the understanding of the verses that they take out of context, what's actually happening. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you probably already know where I'm going. 31 through 34.
I should have just typed it, but I was all right. I had an idea where you was going, but I was like, let me just. I already know. God, it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, starting at verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. For this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and will remember their sin no more.
And see, now this is where we run into a problem, and the problem is really bigger than people understand. With like those verses, Zephaniah 3, 8 and 9, Isaiah 28 and 11. Part of the problem of why they understand in that manner, some people, I ain't gonna say all that understand in that manner, is that they believe that we're already in the new covenant. And when we look at Jeremiah 31 verses 31 through 34, it actually explains to us what happens when we are in the new covenant. So there are things that are going to take place that can't be avoided, and this is straight from the prophet Jeremiah's mouth, and it's straight from the Most High God to Jeremiah. So in verse 31, it says, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Future tense. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. So it not being according to the covenant that we had in Mount Sinai, the covenant he made with us then, the reason is not going to be according to it because we're not going to break it. Is no way we're going to break it. And I'm going to continue reading to understand why we can't break this covenant. It says, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. Our brothers and sisters will say that we're in the new covenant, and they will say, yeah, the laws are written on my heart. It's not possible, because us as a nation of people, the Israelites, are not on one accord. We're still killing each other. We're still sleeping with each other's wives and husbands. This is not the way that we're supposed to be. That's not the laws written on our hearts when we are here breaking the laws of God. So it says, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. So, people may say, yeah, everybody know God. Just saying, like having the knowledge that there is a creator is not what this is saying. For us to actually know the Most High God, we have to know him in the sense of being obedient to him, in the sense of taking heed to his words. That's how we know him. We don't know him if we don't do those things. Just having knowledge of him is not knowing him. So this basically sums up those two verses that they take out of context, because we're not in the new covenant. Now, we don't say that we're under the old covenant, because we're not under the old covenant. We are entering into the new covenant, because the Most High sent his son, and his son, when he died for our sins, he actually began the process of us coming into the new covenant. He is the reason that we can come into the new covenant. If it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be a new covenant. So the process has begun, but it hasn't been finished, because we just read how the process ends and how it's finished. Brother, you want to add anything?
Con, absolutely. Because you see, and again, this is a precept. You can read Ezekiel 36, and it speaks about the same thing. Like, you start at the beginning of Ezekiel 36. It talks about where we're at and how we're going to be restored to our land, all of those things. And then later on, matter of fact, I'll put up, right? I'll pull up this part. This is Ezekiel 36, because this is literally similar verbiage, right? Let me get to it. I want to say it's 26. But like throughout this chapter, it talks about us being cleansed, us brought forth into our land, all of these things, right? Similar to the whole chapter of Jeremiah 31, because in Jeremiah 31, it gives a similar rundown. It talks about how there's going to be rejoicing in that day, things like that. So let's read the book of Ezekiel 36. We'll start at 25. It says, then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you an heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. Right? That's similar language to Jeremiah 31. The law is going to be put within you, and you're going to keep it, right? So verse 28, to kind of bring it home, it says, and ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your God. So it's the same language, same verbiage, all of those things. And this again, as the brothers kind of spoke to, this has not happened yet, or this hasn't fulfilled in its totality yet. Our people, some of us, we're still in idolatry. We're not keeping the commandments. We're not even thinking about the Most High, right? So that's just a sign that this hasn't been fully done within our people yet, right? But the process has started, and it was initially established or confirmed with Yahweh Shah's bloodshed. All right, but I'll pass it back to you.
Con, and you made me grab another precept because you grabbed that precept. All praise to the Most High. Ezekiel 20.
Con.
And you can start at 33, read on down to 38, I guess.
Con. $33 to $38.
Yeah, Con. Shalom, everybody. Just join the stream. If you haven't already, go ahead and give us a like and a share on the video, and it'll be greatly appreciated.
Con. All right, so this is Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33. As I live, saith the Lord God, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered with a mighty hand, with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt. So will I plead with you, saith the Lord God. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgressed against me, and I will bring them forth out of the land, out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh.
Con, all praises. And so with the brother bringing out Ezekiel 36, this goes right along with Ezekiel 36, and also along with Isaiah not Jeremiah, Salakia 31. And so when you look at this verse in verse 33, it says, as I live, saith the Lord God, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. Just like we stated in Zephaniah 3, in Joel chapter 3, Isaiah 28. This is that same day of the Lord where this destruction happens to these other nations. So he says, with fury poured out, he's going to rule over us. So he's going to deliver us. It says, and I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord God. So we know when our ancestors, the Israelites of old, when they came out of the land of Egypt, the Most High brought them out of that land, and he brought them into the wilderness, and he made that covenant with them. So this is the same manner of how he's going to gather us together. He's going to bring us into the wilderness, and he's going to make this covenant with us. We know this hasn't happened yet because we wouldn't be in the condition that we are in. We would be a holy people. We would be together and on one accord, because just like we just got through reading, once we get to this point, the laws are written on our hearts. And this covenant, the difference in it is that we can't break it. So it says, and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord. And this is the important part. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. We know what happens when you bond something. They use the word bond for like when a welder welds something together, he bonds it. So it closes and it is connected. So if this is a circle and this circle represents the covenant, if the circle isn't complete or bonded, it's not complete. It's not a complete circle. So in order for us to be brought into the bond of the covenant, that circle got to be closed. And this is the only time where the circle gets closed. So we're in the process of going into the new covenant, but we're just not there yet. So verse 38 says, and I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, because they can't enter into the land of Israel, because everyone that's entering into the land of Israel will have laws written on their hearts. if the law is not written on your hearts. You're not making it in because this covenant will not be broken. But yeah, that's pretty much it on as far as breaking down those scriptures that they take out of context, precepting to show that this is the day of the Lord being talking about, and us getting on one accord with the understanding. So now I want to bring out some scriptures to show why the names actually do matter. Brother, if you could grab Psalm 34 verses 1 through 7.
God. This is the book of Psalm chapter 34, starting at verse 1. It says, I will bless Yahweh at all times. His praise shall be continually, his praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make her boast in Yahweh. The humble shall hear thereof and be glad. O magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. I sought Yahweh, and he heard me, and delivered me from all my fears. They looked unto him, and were lightened, and their faces were not ashamed. Continuing on, verse 6. This poor man cried, and Yahweh heard him, and saved him out of all his troubles. The angel of Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him, and deliver them. Salaki, I thought
You was thinking about the song, wasn't it? So you would probably say, like, well, what does this have to do with showing that the Most High God name does matter? So when you actually look at some of the words being used, it says in verse 2, my soul shall make her boast in Yahweh. The humble shall hear thereof and be glad. But verse 3 says, oh, magnify Yahweh with me. That means to magnify Yahweh means to promote him, or to basically go out and proclaim him. And that's even his name, because before they did what they did with the text, the actual name was written. These prophets and these brothers, these brothers, apostles, disciples that wrote the scriptures, they actually used the names of the Father. It wasn't Lord in capital letters, Lord, because when you see Lord in capital letters, that just means it's Yahweh. When you see Lord and it's just a capital L, that means it's Yahweh Shai. So to magnify the Lord, brother, you can grab that also in the Hebrew. Grab magnify. Khan.
It's the root word gadol, and it means to grow, become great or important, promote, make powerful, praise, magnify, do great things. It's more of the same. In the definition, you want a definition, or
you can read it.
God. So it's to be large, advance, boast, bring up, exceed, excellent, become, do, give, make, wax, great, grow, increase, lift up, magnify, be much, set by, nourish, pass, promote, proudly spoken, and then tower.
So it says, let us exalt his name together. So we lifting up, we're promoting his name. This is what the Most High God wants us to do. So to say that his name don't matter would be crazy, and it would be definitely disrespectful, because we know that there are many gods and they have names. Why not call on the name of the one true God when we're praying to him, or when we're telling somebody about him? There may be times when you're talking to your family members who may not know the name, and I know I do it. I'll say God, or I'll say the Most High, or if I say Yahweh, they already understand that I'm talking about the same God of Isaac, Abraham, Jacob. So, but you have to make sure that people are they do have the understanding of who Yahweh is before you're just using the name, because we still have to understand some of our people don't have that understanding. Brother, if you could grab Proverbs 18 and 10.
God. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe.
Con. So if the name of Yahweh or the name of the Lord is a strong tower, that means it's a benefit in actually knowing the name and calling on the name. It's a strong tower. You run to that name, you use that name, and you're safe. He gonna protect you. That means you calling out to him. You praying to him. He's hearing your prayer. He's hearing your cry because you using his name. That's not to say that if someone doesn't know the correct name of the Father, that he's not working in their life, or that he may not, hear the prayer of someone whose heart is toward him, because he knows our hearts. So, and he also understands that we've been scattered into these places where they've taken our heritage from us. So it's not to say that, but if you know the name, why not use it? So, brother, grab Acts 4, verses 10 through 12. And if you got a point, you can add it before we go forward.
Yeah, just highlighting one point. I'll bring this out in Psalm 116. And I think through the Spirit of Pride of Most High, this has been a very, very good teaching on this topic. So, God, all praises. So, what I'll do is I'll start at 1. So this is Psalm chapter 116, verse 1. It says, I love the Lord because he hath heard my voice and my supplications. So starting off, this is in reference to, the writer that's saying that they love the Most High because the Most High has heard his voice, when he prayed, basically, because when you go into supplications, that's dealing with requests and things like that, right? So the Most High has heard this person's prayer. So let's continue on. Verse 2. Because he hath inclined his ear unto me, therefore will I call upon him as long as I live. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the pains of hell gat hold upon me. I found trouble and sorrow. Then called I upon the name of Yahweh. O Yahweh, I beseech thee, deliver my soul. Right, so this is a prayer, right, or a petition made unto the Most High, literally, and they're saying, this is what I did. I called upon the name of the Most High. I said, Yahweh, I beseech thee, deliver my soul, right? So the reason I'm highlighting this point is because in order for somebody, to actually call upon the Most High's name, they would have had to have known the Most High's name. And right here again, just bringing back up a point, you see right here twice what you call what's called the Tetragrammaton, the all caps Lord, instead of the the Pascal case, like how you see right here. Then sometimes you see in the scriptures, you'll see Lord with the first letter capitalized and the rest of the letters they're lowercase, like called Pascal case, right? But right here, this is all caps. So this is significant. And when you look at Hebrew language, this is the Tetragrammaton, and it's pronounced Yahweh, right? Now, something that's very important is when you look at this word for called, right? Let me touch on this real quick. It's the root Korah, and I'll pull it up. The Strong's H7121, right? And look at the usage is to call out, recite, cry out, proclaim, to summon, invite, call for, things like that. And I think even in the definition, it has something interesting as well. It says to call out, and then it says, i.e., properly addressed by name. So that's included, to properly address somebody by name. You're calling, like for instance, the brother Hurt. He's on the call. He's on the stream. I would call him, hey, Hurt. Like I want to get his attention, right?
Okay.
I'm addressing him by his name. And so if we're praying to the Most High, and we're calling out to the Most High, it is of importance to know the Most High's name, know the God that you're calling out to, right? And again, I don't want anyone to get it misconstrued. I won't say that, hey, if you don't, if somebody doesn't know the Most High's name, right? I'm not going to say that, hey, you're a 2/3 or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But for someone to say that it's not important to know the Most High's name, that's just biblically inaccurate, and it's just all types of against the Bible, right? But I'll pass it back to you.
Out the water.
All praises.
Let's grab Acts 4, verses 10 through 12.
Con. This is Acts chapter 4, starting at verse 10. Be it known unto you, be it known unto you all, and to all the people of Israel, that by the name of Yahushua the Anointed of Nazareth, whom ye crucified, whom God raised from the dead, even by him doth this man stand here before you whole. This is the stone which was set at naught of you builders, which is become the head of the corner. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved.
You think that at this time, before he actually came on the scene, that it didn't matter what his name was when he presented himself? That had to have some significance. It wasn't, we don't care what his name is. We just want to see him present himself and say he the Messiah, and we just gonna believe it. Nah, he had a name, and that name meant a lot. So it says, be it known unto you all and to all the people of Israel that by the name of Hamashiach Yahushua of Nazareth, whom ye crucified, whom God raised from the dead, even by him doth this man stand here before you whole. This is a stone which was set at naught of you builders, which has become the head of the corner. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. So this is the name that we have to be saved under, not any of the other names. And just like we already reiterated, iterated, and I'll reiterate, we're not saying if someone doesn't know that the Messiah's name is Yahushua, or you use a different name for it, that the Most High God isn't able to allow you to be heard in prayers, that you're praying through Jesus or whatever, but if he knows your heart is correct toward him, you just don't know the name. He understands that. But we do want to magnify these names. We want our people to know the true names, because there's power in the name, like the brother Ariyah said in the chat. There's definitely power in the name. So, brother, if you could, in this same chapter, read verses 13 through 18.
God. It's the book of Acts chapter 4, verse 13. Now, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John, and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them, that they had been with Yahushua. And beholding the man which was healed standing with them, they could say nothing against it. But when they had commanded them to go aside out of the council, they conferred among themselves, saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle hath been done by them is manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it. And just a sidebar for anybody that says real miracles weren't done. I mean, I would wonder how they would deal with this passage, but continuing on verse 17. It says, but that is spread no further among the people. Let us straightly threaten them, that they speak henceforth to no man in this name. And they called them and commanded them not to speak at all, nor teach in the name of Yahushua.
Hold up, why? It was some power in that name. Yahushua, the Hebrew name. We ain't talking about Jesus. We talking about the Hebrew name. It was power in that name. So to say that the Most High God and his son's name don't matter is crazy. We see that, when we look at these verses, it says, and beholding in verse 14, the man which was healed standing with them, they could say nothing against it. Someone was healed in the name of Yahushua. These people start saying it's like, oh my God, y'all got to stop saying that name. Stop saying his name. That's crazy because it's power in their name. It says, but when they had commanded them to go outside of the council, they conferred among themselves, saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle have been done by them is manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it. But that it spread no further among the people. Let us straightly threaten them that they speak henceforth to no man in this name. And they called them and commanded them not to speak at all, nor teach in the name of Yahushua. That's some power. That makes you want to use that name because it was so much power in it then, and it's still power in that name right now. Brother, give me Matthew 6, verses 9 through 13. This will be my last scripture. And if you want to add anything, you can. And I see the brother put some precepts in. You can read those off.
Khan, this is the book of Psalm. Matter of fact, let me stop sharing my screen. Maybe this will show a lot of it. But this is Psalm chapter 20 and verse 1. It says, Yahweh, unhear thee in the day of trouble. The name of God, it's like it, the name of the God of Jacob, defend thee. Send thee help from the sanctuary and strengthen thee out of Zion. Remember all thy offerings and accept thy burnt offerings. Salah. Grant thee according to thine own heart and fulfill all thy counsel. We will rejoice in thy salvation, and in the name of our God we will set up our banners. Yahweh will fulfill all thy petitions. And now know I that Yahweh saveth his anointed. He will hear him from his holy heaven with the saving strength of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of Yahweh our God. They are brought down and fallen, but we are risen and stand upright. Yahweh, let the king hear us when we call.
Khan, all praises.
Khan Almighty.
Yeah, beautiful precept. They say, hey, all these other people trusting in all these different things. We're going to trust in the name of the Most High God. Khan. They trusted in that name. They called on that name, and they knew that things were going to happen when they called on that name. They ain't have no doubt about it because they trusted. They had faith in it. All praise to the Most High, the water of Brother Ariel. So I got one more precept, Matthew 6, verses 9 through 13.
Khan. This is Matthew 6, starting at verse 9. After this manner, therefore pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Most beautiful prayer that everybody in the world knows if they have any kind of association with any kind of religion or spiritual background according to the Bible. And one thing that gets overlooked a lot of the times is verse 9. It says, after this manner, therefore pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven. and it says, hallowed be thy name. His name is holy. That's a holy name. And it's not just saying, because like even when I know growing up like in the church, and when you hear hallowed be thy name, you just think like, okay, you don't really think about his name because you're not taught his name. You just like, oh, his name, hallowed be his name. Oh, okay, it's this hallowed name. That's it. But you're not taught the name. And I remember a joke. I don't remember where I know it from. I don't know, Aga, you might know about this joke. They say, Howard be thy name. They think his name Howard. But yeah, so the Most High God's name is holy, man. And that's just, it's a beautiful thing. So we know that if that name is holy, that means it's set apart and it's something beautiful about it. And we definitely want to use it. But with that, I just want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, whose name is Yahweh Shai. And the name of Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai truly do matter. But brother, you can close us out. She said there was a baby in the car.
Yeah. I placed in the chat. It's a video I did maybe, I think back in March, and it's called The Name of the Most High and a few words on pronunciation. And I like a portion of the video, I go into the importance of the name of the Most High, and I also go into some evidence on the name of the Most High and the pronunciation being Yahweh. Right. So that's a that's a pretty decent place to find, some information on that if you're seeking for it. It's a good place to start. And then I drop some other places that will, lead you on a trail to get more and more information concerning this. But
and that's the spirit, because I was thinking about that lesson too. That's a beautiful lesson, and it just made me think about that lesson just going through this about the name of the Most High God mattering, because it really do matter, and just explaining it, getting the whole breakdown of Hebrew. If like you're not familiar with the Hebrew language, the brother has a lot of different lessons going into the basics of Hebrew, and we definitely got to get back to presenting those lessons for those that are interested in learning more Hebrew. So, but yeah, the water, brother, all praises.
All praises.
And if you could, you can, unless you got anything you want to bring out, you could close us out.
Kind of close us out. So we're gonna close it out with number 6 and 24 on down. It says, Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. And with that, I'll say Shalom.
Shalom, Mark. Shalom, family.
Can't tell me nothing about life if you don't know pain. How you gonna try to coach if you don't know the game? You gonna get on the field and pick the wrong plays. Instead of seeking help, you wanna do your own thing.
A little bit is the love and makes love. That's why I'm giving you all of my love, girl. Thought I knew love, but you redefined it. Took me a while, but indeed I finally found it. Kisses and hugs keeping me reminded. Fake love in the past had me blinded.
So you can't cancel me, cause I don't want the fame. I just wanna wake up my people and break the chain. You just wanna do what you feel, yeah. Because you're living in the lust of your flesh. The fear of God is knowledge, but fools despise instruction. They need a Bible college for wisdom. The Holy Spirit instructs me. Sucklings need milk, they can't digest. Meat just unlearn, so they misinterpret John 3:16. Saying Christ died for all, but everybody don't need saving. Deliverance is the essence of our eternal salvation.